Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Joe. This is Leah from Let's Head Wherever, and today our video is going to be going over the most asked questions that we get as full-time RVers.
So the number one most frequently asked question, believe it or not, is how does it work with 4 people and 1 bathroom?
Oh, it's awesome.
It was actually one of the things we were most worried about living in an RV.
Going from 3.5 bathrooms to 1 bathroom.
Yes, so we were pretty nervous about that. It actually has been fine. We haven't had any major problems. We don't use the bathhouses at campgrounds. We only use the bathroom in our rig, but it hasn't been a problem. We kind of give a heads up if someone's going to be there for a while so that everyone else can go first. And sometimes we brush our teeth in the kitchen sink so that we all have time to get everything done, but it hasn't been a big deal at all.
No, it's been pretty smooth.
The other question that we get all the time is, do we have enough room for all of our stuff?
Well, didn't you watch the other video? We sold everything.
We still have extra room that's not being used.
We do. And we still have way too much stuff.
And we still have way too much stuff.
We are needing another purge.
Yes, we have entire tubs, plastic tubs of things that we've never used since we've been here and that we need to get rid of. And I am working really hard on getting emotionally ready to get rid of the rest of my clothes because I still have way, way, way too much clothes. I probably wear 30% of the clothes that I have.
I think I didn't bring near as much clothes as you did, and I you know what, I say that, but I have a lot of clothes. I don't think I've wore probably 10% of my clothes.
So yes, we have more than enough room in our rig for everything we have, and we could get rid of more and have even more space. So
another question that we get all the time is, what do we do about dentists and doctors and medications and stuff like that? And the honest answer is, we haven't had to deal with them yet. We don't know what we're gonna do. I assume that we'll use telehealth if we can. Any kind of emergency stuff, it would be local clinics and ERs anyways. I assume once we get to some of the big annual checkups, it might be a time where we might have to start making our way back to Florida to see our doctors that we've gone to. But for now, we haven't had to deal with that yet, thankfully, and I hope it stays that way.
We did spend the last couple of weeks at home getting everybody's doctor's appointments for everything taken care of, so haven't had a problem so far. Another one of the comments we get all the time is, how do you do it? I could never live with my family in a small environment, even though I love them. Yeah. And the easy answer is you should have perfect children like mine, and then it's fine.
Yeah, it's super easy. We just no parenting needed.
Just kidding. It is not always easy. I am definitely the yelly mom at a campground, so if you're parked next to us, sorry about that.
That happens.
But I think it's helped us kind of have better communication with each other. I think that we're being more understanding and more patient with each other. We have a lot of room to grow.
And I think we've learned and understand each other's boundaries a little better too. We can kind of tell when somebody's about to go off the deep end, and we kind of, might want to give them some space for a little while.
Yes, and that's a good lead into the next question we get all the time is, how do you get personal space?
Yeah.
The answer is you don't.
You don't. there is none.
So everybody needs personal space. We're lucky that we're not necessarily people who need a lot of space, I think, individually.
Yeah, not really.
But everybody needs it sometimes. Yeah. So one thing we do is walking the dog.
Yeah.
Sometimes
get a little stir crazy, go take Freddie for a walk and, get some fresh air for a little while.
Yep. So sometimes kids are not allowed to go. We have a date, walking the dog.
Or sometimes when we need the kids out of here for a few minutes because they're driving us nuts, we're like, hey, go walk the dog. Mommy and I are going to sit here in silence for 3 minutes.
Yes. A long walk.
Yes.
Even though obviously our rig is small, we do still have 2 bedrooms. Yeah. So we have some separation there. The kids know that they can go to my bedroom if they need some space away from each other.
Which helps out for work too. If somebody has the kids have a DBA, and they got to be on a phone call, and they can go off in the quiet end. And usually the majority of the noise is happening on this end. So our bedroom is kind of like the quiet room if somebody needs it. So.
And all 4 of us have noise canceling headphones.
Yeah.
So we've gotten pretty used to kind of going to our own space just by putting on headphones and doing our own thing and listening to our own music.
I'll tell Leah when I got to go heads down for 30 minutes, I'll put earbuds in and play some music and just kind of check out for a little while.
Yep. Sometimes I'll clean the bathroom, or Joe will clean the storage and reorganize the Blackstone area, which means I need some space by myself, and that's cool.
I'm going to go inspect the rocks outside, see if everything's in order how it should be. And another lead into that, another question that is kind of always a follow-up is do you ever get claustrophobic living in such a confined area? Because, we went from a 2,700 square foot house to this, so there's a lot of room. My biggest complaint is I hit my head on everything. I don't know if in my old age, my gravitational pull from my big head has gotten more, but I literally, it's once a week where I put myself in a bad situation, knocking my head on something.
For me, I get stir crazy, but I got stir crazy in our really big house too.
Yeah.
So I have to have the windows open all the time, even when like the sun is shining in my face or it's hot. I need to put the windows open all the time. I need to go outside and do stuff. Like I'll run to the gas station or to the grocery store sometimes just to like go do a thing.
Like we said, walk the dog. Just get out for a little while. Because I mean, Fredericksburg was the weather was terrible. Like we were there for a week, and like 5 of the 7 days it was rainy and dreary and cold. And I started getting a little twitchy by like Thursday. I was like, I need to get out and do something because I'm kind of going nuts sitting in the house all day.
Yes, and I get claustrophobic when things are messy.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of space. So if there's stuff sitting on the counters or there's a big mess, then I start to get claustrophobic. If we keep everything clean, I don't feel that way.
All right, next question. Hey kids.
Yeah.
Earmuffs.
Okay.
Romance time. That's the question like everyone wants to ask.
The answer is my parents are watching this and so are Joe's, and so we are not going to talk about this on YouTube.
I'm bashful. I get red cheeks. Start sweating. Very carefully. That's all I'll say.
Moving on.
Okay. Kids, earmuffs off. Thank you.
Welcome.
A lot of the questions we get are centered around the kids. I think because our kids are middle school age, they're 12 and 13, they got a lot going on in life. We get a lot of questions about them. And the first one we get all the time is, how did we get them on board with it? And the answer is, we didn't.
We did.
So our daughter was ready to go from the beginning. I think she kind of had a lot to lose, so to speak. She was student council president.
She was just elected student council president. And of course, like COVID kind of ruined everything. But like she just won student council president in the election. She was like NGHS vice president. So like
super involved with school. So she had a lot to learn. She had a lot to lose. But I think she knew right away that this was kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity, and she was excited about all the things that she would get to do. Our son was not on board. And there's nothing we really did to fix that other than let him have the feelings and go, let him express what he needed to express. Now that we've been on the road, he is A-okay.
I haven't heard a single complaint like, this is terrible.
I think if you asked him, he would still tell you, no, he's not happy.
Yeah.
But if you looked at him every day, he's happy. The biggest thing for him, I think, was being nervous about a change in routine. He doesn't like a lot of change. But our life is really fairly similar. We have the same daily routine every day. And so it hasn't been a whole lot different. We're just looking in different places every day.
Yeah, with COVID, like we weren't going out, we weren't eating at restaurants, they weren't seeing their friends, they weren't going to school. So I mean, like we were like recluses. We like stayed in the house and we did nature-y stuff, and here on the road we're staying in the house and doing nature-y stuff and not going out and doing any of that public stuff. So
that's another question we get all the time is, do the kids get enough socialization?
Yeah.
And the answer is no, not really.
No.
But they weren't at home either.
Yeah.
So normally they would be hanging out with friends all the time, doing fun stuff. They're not doing that because of COVID, and they're not doing that on the road.
I guess that's the real answer. They're not doing any less now on the road that they weren't already not doing because of COVID. So like
Yes. So we're meeting lots of new full-time families, and there's groups that we intend to join once COVID has died down, where they can meet other kids and spend time with other kids face to face. But right now that's not a really great option. Their friends are texting them all the time. They have Zoom movie dates. They do all sorts of stuff. They play games online together.
Minecraft and Among Us all the time. And
so they're getting as much socialization as they get at home.
Yeah. Another question we get is, what do we do about school with the kids? And again, because of COVID, they were already online. So honestly, there's no big change. And the funny thing is that our 2 kids could not be any different if we tried with like their approach to school. Colby, she gets up, she has a daily plan. Most of the time she goes in our room, lays on the bed, knocks her homework out. Elliot
sits next to me.
Sits next to Leah. If he didn't sit next to Leah, he would literally be on his bed and staring out the window for 8 straight hours, having done nothing. But thankfully, when he sits next to Leah, he only spends half the time staring out the window.
They're using the same format and the same curriculum they were using at home. So we already did the trial and error and kind of figured out what worked best for them. The only thing that's different is they were taking a normal schedule of 6 classes before we hit the road. And now they're just taking 3 at a time at an accelerated pace. Yeah. And that seems to work out really well, because that way if they've got budgeting different time for travel or bad internet or whatever the case is, it's a whole lot easier for them to manage their schedule with just 3 classes.
And instead of having to manage, 6 different classes of assignments per day, they might be able to spend, all day on math or all day. So they kind of stay in that groove. And I think their productivity is higher having only the couple of classes, even though they're going to finish it, in 8 weeks instead of 16 weeks. Then they move on and they can stay focused on, 2 or 3 more classes. So I think in the long run, that's probably going to work out better for him.
Agreed. And a bonus question.
Bonus question.
Bonus.
Damn.
Is life on the road what we expected it to be? The answer is, it is not exactly like we expected.
No.
But it is better.
It is better. It's for me, like I have anxiety issues about a million different things anyways, but I think when I thought about everything that went into doing this life full time, I was like, oh my God, like it's so many things, so many different, like we're going to be juggling so many balls in the air and it's going to be crazy. And honestly, it hasn't panned out that way. It's stressful at times, and figuring out where we're going to go and stuff like that could get stressful. But for the most part, it's been fairly chill, like way, way different than I was anticipating.
It has. I would say that our life is way less stressful than it was
Yeah.
before. We're not running errands and doing this and that. And I think our day-to-day pace is just slower and more
Yeah.
comfortable. I think that we're spending more time that is quality versus
Yeah.
just like existing.
Yeah, like today's a perfect example. We like sleep in, we kind of got up and got started off on our day when we wanted to, and had a few hours of work. We went to the national park, did some hiking, came back, made dinner, took showers, recording a video. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's just a relaxing kind of like work at your own pace. If you wake up on a Tuesday and you don't really feel like doing anything, don't do anything. Tackle it on Wednesday. It's all good.
So I think for me personally, all the benefits I expected of travel, 100% there.
Yeah.
But there's so much more than that. I
Yeah.
think the extra family time has exceeded my expectations. And I think to your point, it's forced us individually, at least for me anyway, to chill out about a lot
Yeah.
of things.
Because the addition to the stressors about living on the road, those are new, but all the different stressors that we've eliminated by selling the house and changing jobs and doing all the things that we did over the last year to kind of pull off some of the layers that we had going on.
That's a good way to put it.
We got rid of so many other stressors that the stuff that we have to deal with now that's new, it seems like that's it.
And even that really, so you're like, okay, I got to stress, I got to find a campground.
Yeah.
But what happens if you don't spend a lot of time stressing about it? Nothing.
Nothing?
You just,
Yeah.
your campground might be a little bit noisier.
Yeah,
Or like
you
might
go
have
to
to drive 10 minutes further to a destination. Like, I think for me, that's been it. Like, if I don't stress and I don't plan and control, the bad thing that happens is
It's
nothing. It's totally fine.
Like, perfect example, like where we are now, in a couple days we're going to a different place, and we were so stressed out, like, all right, well, when we're here we want to do this thing, and we couldn't really find a campground that was like accessible to all the different places. What do? It's not a big deal. So, like, we don't have anywhere to be, right? So we're going to stay over here for a couple weeks, and we'll do everything what's going to be here, and then if we have to cross town to do all the other stuff that we wanted to do, so we go
We'll do that.
We go there for a week. And if we miss out on something down south that we meant to do, we come back down south and do that. Like, honestly, it's no big deal.
I expected it to be less stressful, but it is way better than I expected.
It's awesome. I suggest everybody do it.
You should just start putting your things for sale now and hit the road.
Listen, man, Facebook Marketplace, sell everything. You get a power user badge like you have or whatever it is.
No, totally get that this is not for everyone.
No.
Totally get that a lot of our friends and family think that we're nuts, and that's way okay.
They're a little bit nuts. I accept that.
But it has exceeded all of our expectations, and I say every day how grateful I am that we just took the plunge. I think we could have very easily gotten stuck in like the what ifs and the planning, and then maybe we'll do that in the future. I am so glad that we just jumped right in.
Just went and did it. We were laughing. We were laughing, sitting here thinking like 2.5 months ago we were living in our house. Like 2.5 months ago from right now we were still living in our house, and now we're in Arizona right now, like 2,000 miles from home.
This is great.
Home.
If we've missed some of your questions, or you have other questions about full-time RV travel and living with a family, let us know in the comments down below, and we're happy to answer them.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to follow along with our upcoming adventures. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up with our upcoming adventures. Keep up with our upcoming adventures sounds stupid, so I'm going to redo that again for like the 4th time.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Put your arms out.
I was like ready to go, but then I was like, I didn't want to come in laughing.
Okay.
All right, ready?
This is my serious face.
Very serious, composed.
Okay.
Right, ready?
You know what I forgot?
What'd you forget?
I'm wearing real pants right now, which no one can even see in the video.
Showing
This is
off.
a big deal.
Showing off.
That is something different than expected. I did not expect to wear this many stretchy pants and sweatpants, and that has so exceeded my expectations for like how wonderful life can be. Stretchy pants and sweatpants.
Yeah.
It's the way to my heart.
I just recorded that whole video in gym shorts and nobody saw it. Everybody knows now.
Oh, I want everyone to know I'm wearing real pants today. This is a big deal.
It's a huge deal. I'm
Real
proud of
pants. They have a button and a zipper.
you. Yeah. Proud of you.
Thanks.
You go get some stretchy pants on now?
Yes.
Okay.